evening, everybody. This is Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And Victoria Tedesco.
Wow. This was, for number one, it's good to be back. This is episode number 105. You bring your camera down a little bit. I forgot to tell you that
dear
before.
Lord.
Just pull your screen back.
Just the screen back?
Toward you.
Toward me.
Yes, there you go.
That?
More, because you're going to lean back and
More.
slouch. Perfect. There you go.
Ooh.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for waiting up for us. Man, what a show. What a show we just watched tonight. Actually, surprisingly good. Better than the Survivor Series build has any right to be. I really feel like.
Better than any right it has.
Major shocker.
Yeah.
Major shocker.
There were really some elements of the show tonight that I was pleasantly surprised with.
Yeah.
Impressed with. And I actually found entertaining.
Me too. It's very rare to be entertained by this show, so that's always a plus. Always a plus. So the big news coming out of the show tonight is, wow, I'm just noticing my impressive beard growth here. By the way, I haven't trimmed my beard down. No shave November, right? It's looking pretty good.
I forgot about that.
A little knot right there, but that's all right. Randy Orton has been defeated for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre is the WWE Champion and will face Roman Reigns this Sunday at Survivor Series in a Champion versus Champions match. You know, this is not the first time they've done this before Survivor Series, though.
No, that's true.
If you remember, I'm trying to think who AJ Styles defeated to face Brock Lesnar.
Wait, who you're saying?
So that was like 2 years ago or something like that. Last year. Oh, no. Last year, no, that was 3 years ago, actually. Last year, they had Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio at Survivor Series. So there was no champion versus champions match.
Yes.
And then the year before that, Daniel Bryan beat AJ Styles with the low blow. That's when he turned heel and he faced Brock Lesnar.
Right. Yes. Now
so
it's all coming back to me.
A little smattering of pretty good and interesting title changes right before, like, the week of Survivor Series. So they're kind of keeping up a little bit of a tradition here, but that's all right. You know, it's like watching these shows, like, especially in the fall, it's like, so, and during pandemic, these shows have been very, very hit or miss, but like the jaded fan in me, I was like, oh God, they're starting this match at 10:30.
You didn't know what to expect.
No, I knew what to expect. I was like, okay, well, they've been foreshadowing Sheamus the entire time. You know, they've been teasing a triple threat with McIntyre, Orton, and The Fiend. I was like, there's going to be some crummy, stupid
sort of outcome. Yeah,
interference, non-finish. I was like, we're going to invest a half hour into this match, and it's going to be a bullshit finish.
And that's what you're expecting for sure.
And that's the jaded fan in me. Because through many years of conditioning, that's what I've been
exactly. You've been conditioned to think that.
So it's really, really nice when they prove you wrong and they do something completely different. So a clean victory too. Absolutely no interference. It was just Orton and McIntyre in the ring. Big time finish.
That is definitely, big time finish, big time news. Definitely, like you said, coming out of this for sure.
Yeah. That's it was
clean,
pretty incredible. You know, there's a couple things that I definitely want to talk about it. But before we do, we have to say hello to our dear friends who have been waiting for us and are back with us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We're sorry we weren't on last week. I was pretty scared. I'm not going to lie. Now that I'm over it, I was like super, super sick last week. And of course, it's like, you know, you get, you cough once and you're like, I have it. This is it. This is going to be it, especially with the numbers spiking and all that stuff. I was convinced, I really was, that I had COVID, and I was getting ready to go get tested, but whatever I had finally just like went away. It was like a really bad head cold. I kept waking up multiple times in the middle of the night, just feeling like I'm choking, on mucus and stuff. It was terrible, but I took a few days off from work. Couldn't, back aches, everything, but it was most decidedly not COVID, because I am totally fine now. So it was just a really bad head cold. But man, that was pretty spooky. So that's why we weren't on last week. So sorry about having to cancel last minute because we had the thing planned.
Yeah, we did. No, we definitely had it planned. But I actually was the one. I'm like, Mike, I don't think you should do this tonight.
Yeah.
I really would. When I, just in case you had to go get tested the next day, or if you were not starting to feel good, and whatever, I was fine. That's another reason why too. Not, and again, could be asymptomatic. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was fine, and usually, like, if one of us gets sick, the other gets sick, like almost immediately. I didn't wind up getting sick at all, so I knew that
you got lucky there.
Yeah. So we knew just was kind of like, but you also stayed away from me and the baby. And
yeah.
Mike wore a mask pretty much
distance,
all last week.
Wore the mask around the house. I know people who have COVID that don't wear their mask around the house, which is really shitty of them. I can't believe I might be related to some of those people. Anyway. Let's say hi to everybody. Daniel Schell.
I was going to say.
Daniel Schell.
Okay,
we were going to send out a wellness check on him.
Well, no. I was just about to say, is Daniel here tonight? Because I was very concerned. I saw he posts on Wrestleview Media, though. He said I thought he said he's giving up or it's time to give up or something. Don't give up, Daniel. She's broken off engagements before.
That's true. That's true. That's
Alexa Bliss.
True.
Okay, so that news coming into this Raw is
Major news.
Alexa Bliss is engaged to Ryan Cabrera, I wouldn't say longtime boyfriend. They haven't been dating that long.
I know nothing about this.
Okay, but here's the thing. Everyone's going to laugh at me. Ryan Cabrera is really, really good friends with the Miz. They've been.
If you watch Miz and Mrs., you would know that.
Yeah, if you do watch Miz and Mrs., you should know that. Are you taping the bonus episode, by the way?
It tapes automatically. I have it set.
It better. Okay. Anyways, but Ryan Cabrera is actually very good friends with the Miz, and Miz and Maurice introduced Ryan Cabrera to Alexa Bliss. So Daniel Schell.
See that, Daniel? Another reason to hate the Miz.
What are you? Wait a minute. Are you for real right now?
I'm saying.
No.
That's. If there was ever a reason to hate the Miz for Daniel.
Well, maybe for Daniel, but not for everybody.
Not for everybody else, but definitely for Daniel.
But yeah, he introduced them, and they haven't been dating that long. I mean, maybe they were before, but now they're officially engaged. And I was looking at Daniel. I was like, "Is Daniel okay?" That's literally the first thing I thought of. Is Daniel okay?
So sad.
But don't give up, Daniel. Like I said,
that's our life.
This is their second engagement, so you never know.
That's a pretty scary proposition, though. That other than like when we host this show, Daniel Schell pops into our head and we discuss him without having to be prompted. And then of course he comments, "Thanks, Mike. Yankees still suck, by the way." Yeah. Although that guy from the Indians did win the Cy Young, but 60 games, so who cares?
My gosh.
Whatever. Anyway, Andrew Elder's in the chat room tonight. Our
Andrew.
Dear friend. Mashun Walls, good evening, Tedescos. Good evening, Mashun. Jorge Oliva, Olaf Amelia Tedesco. Missed you guys, but I did not miss those curtains. I know. They're going away soon. We're going to be getting new curtains.
Yeah, this weekend.
No, not this weekend, but we're going to be getting them very soon.
Why not this weekend?
Well, we can get them, but they won't be installed, I can tell you that.
Why can't you install them?
I have to do it? You get professionals to do that. I don't do that stuff.
You installed baby's curtains.
Yes, I did. But that was like, at the apartment.
Yeah.
Or if I destroyed the place, it was like, okay.
Yeah.
We don't have equity in it.
You need to.
I'll think about it. DeAndre Sisson is in the chat room tonight. Hello. How are you doing tonight? We're doing great. Thank you, DeAndre. Quentin Walters, our buddy. Our dear friend.
Hello.
Who actually knows what it's like to have COVID. Sweet Louis Veraldi in the chat room. King of Hueco Mundo is here. WWE just bringing the good stuff before the pay-per-view. I am confused on what's on the line on the pay-per-view. So is everybody
Yeah, it's
else.
a very, very good question to ask.
Uncle Billy, our dear friend, is in the chat room tonight. Ashley from the UK.
Hello.
Thank God for the 2 title matches tonight. Otherwise, it was a typical meh go-home show. I agree with that.
Okay.
Shane Bradley. Hey, Mike and Pie Face. Honestly, we should have done the show last week because I would have absolutely been pied in the face tonight for thinking that, for thinking that I was convinced that there was no chance of changing the title. I would have eaten pie tonight.
You would have eaten pie.
But unfortunately no. So there is Survivor Series though. There is Survivor Series this
All right,
Sunday.
well, are we going to make it tonight?
We're going to make
We'll make a prediction tonight.
We'll make our predictions tonight.
Okay.
With pie on the line for next Monday on the post.
Should we switch it up? Should it be pie or should it be no, it should be pie.
What do you want to do?
No, I'm saying maybe we should just chocolate pie.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, let's up the ante a little bit. Let's throw acid in each other's face.
What? No.
Quentin Walter says, "Don't forget, Mike. Happy wife, happy life. Just say yes, dear."
So true.
All right. So this is a big Raw. It's always a special time of the year for me. Well, not really special. Kind of a bummer. Today is the day. It's been 18 years since my grandfather passed away. The one who was supposed to take me to Survivor Series 2002. I told that story before about the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like a bummer day. And then, it's like, oh God, I got to recap Raw tonight. And they delivered. So this was a really, really good show. Let's kick it off here with the review. The ThunderDome. I don't know how much longer they're going to be in the ThunderDome now, because their contract is up after Thanksgiving, and they're not renewing.
They're not renewing.
No, they're going to be moving on. And
what though?
There's no word on where they're going yet. The rumor is another spot maybe in Florida. There was talk of Illinois, Texas, but
yeah, but you can't have fans. Or are they planning on having fans?
No, you can't have fans.
Can't have fans.
You're not going to be able to have fans anymore.
What about NXT people or no because of outbreaks?
What do you mean?
With how they used to have it where they would have the NXT roster.
Oh, that stuff. Yeah, and I don't think you can go from the ThunderDome back to
Agreed.
The.
I honestly think that I don't know why are they renewing it though.
Because
was it in hopes that we wouldn't be in this situation, or
no? It's because the Orlando Magic need the arena back now. They're hoping to start the NBA in December.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is any new venue, why can't they do a similar situation?
Well, the problem with the ThunderDome and needing to have such a high bandwidth capacity for the internet to bring in all of those videos. You're thinking there's thousands of video screens there. You need a place that's new enough that can handle the workload needed to run the ThunderDome.
I understand.
Amway Center is a relatively new arena.
Okay.
They would have to go and find someplace similar to that.
Got it. Okay. Because I was why can't they just?
So that's part of the problem too.
Okay.
That's part of the problem too.
Got it.
It's I'm sure there's other slightly smaller arenas in Orlando or in the Orlando area.
But maybe they'll be able to do what they would like to do.
But yeah, that maybe they could do, but that you can't run the ThunderDome the way you were running it
in the before. Yeah. Well, that's going to be a big change again. If they don't wind up having something similar, that will be very, very weird to kind of go back to. They
got to figure it out, and they haven't made it. I mean, I'm sure they'll make an announcement sometime soon.
Maybe after Survivor Series?
Maybe at Survivor Series. I would say, but they have to they have to make an announcement soon, so it doesn't look hey, we're getting kicked out, we have nowhere to go. Yeah. It's you gotta let
hey guys
know. Cause let's face it, has the ThunderDome meant more viewers for the company? That answer is no. And I obviously everybody knows when I do the ratings every week for Raw, I show you the ratings that they did when they were in the Performance Center and when they moved to the Amway Center, and their average since COVID-19. Raw's average since COVID-19 started, their first show was on March 16th. 316 Day was the first empty Performance Center show. So the average since then has been 1.797 million viewers. The average at the PC was 1.811 million viewers.
Okay.
Amway Center, 1.768 million. So less than the Performance Center. But there are some silver linings in these numbers here. I think that the numbers would be way worse, honestly, if they stayed in the Performance Center and had to go up against Monday Night Football. looking like a minor league production.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so I even though those numbers, like the Amway Center numbers, are lower than the Performance Center, I think that is actually, you know, it's because of the Amway Center that it's not worse.
In the scheme of things, they're doing okay in comparison to what it could have been.
But they can't go back to the Performance Center. They can't, you know, they have to find a spot. And it has to be relatively close to, like, you know, where these people live. You think these, you know, with the release of Zelina Vega on Friday and the Screen Actors Guild today announcing that they are going to be reaching out directly to all the wrestlers to talk about unionization or bringing them into their union, it's going to be a tough sell to say, like, okay, numbers are spiking. We're getting 1 million cases a day, you know, in this country. We're going to put you on a plane every week and fly you out to, you know, Illinois to tape Raw or tape SmackDown. And then we're going to fly you back to your home in Florida. And you're going to do that every week until, you know, for the foreseeable future. That's a tough sell. You know, there's a lot of interesting things that are going on in wrestling right now. You know, that kind of sparked from this Zelina Vega.
I have a question about that. So she was released, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be long until Black probably gets released, right?
Who knows?
I would assume.
I haven't seen him on SmackDown lately, so.
But my question becomes.
It's awkward.
Well, yeah.
It's always awkward. Look what they're doing with Lana.
Yeah, I mean, it's always awkward for sure. But my question is, though, when it comes to her, right? She's being vocal about something, right?
Zelina?
Yeah.
She was.
She was being vocal. No, not anymore.
Yeah.
But her being vocal, is that really the true reason?
No.
Okay.
No. So, you know, it does come down to this damn Twitch thing. You know, she had a Twitch account.
So is that really what came down to, not the unionization thing, even though she spoke against it?
She said the union thing
for it, rather?
After getting released. It was like minutes before they announced the release, but she was already released.
Okay, because I'm glad you're clarifying, because there's a lot of confusion about that.
Oh yeah, of course there is, because it's the internet, and you know, people like to make up their own stories. We're just telling you the facts
from Wrestleview, as we always do. Wrestleview.
We're just telling you the facts as they exist. Allegedly, what I read is the straw that broke the camel's back is when she started up an OnlyFans account. Because when they made her shut down her Twitch account, which she claims was making her more money than her WWE contract was.
Which is scary to think about.
Really scary to think about. And also, it's like, we should be on Twitch and making money. But so she shut that down, but when she opened up the OnlyFans account and she was like selling pictures of her in cosplay outfits for like $1,000. I mean, talk about pathetic people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're spending $1,000 for Zelina Vega to put on, you know, your favorite anime costume, reevaluate. You know, seriously, save that money for yourself and buy yourself a life. Crazy.
Buy yourself a life.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm
not. But
not.
anyway, yeah. I mean, you know, strict no nudity policy. I think everybody knows, like, the OnlyFans accounts now are like, you know, there's something dirty about it. But you know, she has a no nudity policy and whatever. But they're like, you know what? You're trying to cut us out of too much, and it was kind of like, you know, I do believe it was like a message being sent, and then she sent out that thing about unionization. Paige had tweeted weeks ago about unionization, and she just put, you know, the little with the thinking emoji.
Right.
So there's a there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it.
There's some meat to this hamburger.
That's what I'm saying. It was just interesting, kind of how the whole story just developed, and that's why I did want you to clarify, because I wasn't quite sure with the timeline of everything of her with the Twitch account and the OnlyFans account and her being vocal about unionization of that, you know, that area of like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back, like you said. So the OnlyFans account was that straw.
Allegedly. Reportedly.
I mean,
it's not confirmed. You know, it is obviously known that Twitch had a big thing to do with this. You know, I mean, and there's a lot of people that are upset about this.
Well,
you know, AJ Styles and who else? A couple people flew out to Stamford, Connecticut to talk to Vince McMahon at the end of October to try to change his mind about this. Yeah. And it didn't work. Now they're hiring. Now WWE's hiring people that can make like Twitch graphics and stuff like that. And so they're going all in on the Twitch thing, and they're just gonna get like they're gonna have a thing where it's like you're now required to do Twitch now that they've taken over your account. Now you're required to do it, and you're gonna get a percentage of what they make, but not what you were originally making. So it's, I mean,
it's a weird.
AJ
I don't know.
Styles,
it's a very unique situation.
Yes, AJ Styles was pumped up big time, introduced to a wider audience than he was when he was in Impact in New Japan, but it wasn't like AJ Styles was a nobody. No. Before he hopped on Twitch and, started his channel up. So it's not like WWE can say like, "Oh, well, we made you who you are."
Right.
It's tough to say like we're going to, you built this thing, now we're going to take it.
You know what? We should really do like a separate podcast at some point to talk about this.
Yeah.
The only reason why I say that is because I feel like this is a very controversial topic.
It's extremely controversial
because it's like I see both sides of the argument. I completely do. Like as a WWE superstar, right? And yeah, you yourself should be able to kind of like market yourself how you want to, and be able, if this is the way that you're making, your money, so to speak, like if that really is true, what Zelina Vega is saying about how she was making more money on Twitch than she was with her own contract, it's pretty scary, Yeah. And if you're relying heavily on something like that for your family, then yeah, it's for them to not support it. Yes, that's pretty, right. But then you also see Vince McMahon's side of it, where it's like, well, you represent us and we want to, be able to not like micromanage, but micromanage like what you're doing. We need to kind of know what you're about. I mean, it was even back to the whole argument with when Eva Marie was in the company, right?
Yeah.
And she was doing all this she got reprimanded a few times for posting about things that she was companies that she was affiliated with, like Shreds, the company Shreds.
Right.
When she was affiliated with them, but
one I understand, because it's like,
of course. But what I'm saying is
she was nobody, and they signed her. It's like, well, you're signing all these deals.
Yeah, because of WWE.
If you're using your stage name, you have to.
Absolutely. No, so that's what I'm saying. I totally get. I get both sides. So, but it's a very, very like. I'm leaning more towards the superstar side. Don't get me wrong, but I understand the administration piece to it too.
Of course, and it's a pandemic, but because it is a pandemic, these people, usually you have your live events to fall back on to make your extra money.
Yeah.
Like I remember listening to the John Moxley, Chris Jericho podcast they did together, and they were talking about just to go to like a house show, like the opening match, you'll get like $750 or something like that. It's like, or $1,000. Mm-hmm. And Jericho's like, I don't get off my couch for less than 5,000 or whatever. I was like, that's, if you're starting out and, in that company, making that money every week, 2 or 3 times a weekend, that's pretty good. They don't have that right now. And there's no signal for when they're going to go back to doing live events. So a lot of these people were subsidizing their incomes
using
off
these
of Twitch.
accounts. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's just kind of crummy that in the
middle
of a
pandemic,
pandemic,
social media outlets,
it's kind of crummy in the middle of a pandemic when WWE has demonstrated and look, I get it. It's all business. It's a business at the end of the day. They made a lot of releases in April, and they made a lot of releases, as the year has gone on. They've released whole departments that we don't even know about,
mm-hmm.
That we haven't even heard of.
Yeah.
So there's no security in WWE. So it's like, these people are setting up a little something for themselves, making some of that money that they lost from live events.
Like I said, I totally get it.
I get that. And, I get that they're, that they think like, okay, well, we gave you the promotion, but it's like, all right, well, like what's next? Because they used to do that shitty thing, like when somebody would get released from the company, if they would go do like a friggin', wrestling show at the VFW, they would send a cease and desist letter to like the VFW that's going to pull in 40 fans. Like, you can't use the WWE name of the person. You have to call them something else. You know, like so.
You're gonna call me crazy. So I
like are we gonna go back to that nonsense?
Yeah, I keep going back to like Total Divas and and the only reason why, because I been watching Total Bellas lately. The first episode obviously premiered last week.
Obviously.
And obviously.
No, but
that. Obviously. But you know,
who didn't know?
The reason why I bring that up is because you just mentioned before about how far are they going to take this, right? In terms of what they control of what you do. Yes, in a way, your name, their company, you're under their kind of rules. But it's really what you make of it yourself. Like you can give anybody the opportunity all you want, but how are they going to apply themselves, you know? So if these like Twitch accounts, these TikTok accounts, these whatever, you know what I mean, are allowing these people to kind of develop and kind of do something out of their own, it's like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're under your name, they're under your company, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's only helping them because they're invested in this person.
Right.
So, and it's like what you make of it. Like, you could give somebody tools all you want, but like, for instance, you have someone like Ricochet, right? If he had a Twitch account, I don't know if he has a Twitch account, but if he had one, but like, I don't see him being very like lively and wanting to talk, like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. To me, it's like the Jets telling like Joe Namath, like, oh, you can't advertise yourself as being the quarterback for Super Bowl 3.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is, somebody with like a personality, it's like, if they're able to do that, if they're able to build themselves like that, that's actually a good thing,
right?
You know, it only says something about, you know, themselves and. Obviously, your faith in hiring them as the superstar, like, you know what they're capable of.
Well, it's so short-sighted because I feel like, you know, you need to have, like if you're doing your Twitch channel, you know, after, you know, doing all the stuff that a wrestler has to do to you know, keep their body up, their diets, and, you know, and on top of the performing aspect of it, too.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be passionate about it. And most, you know, successful channels feature a lot of passion. Like, you know, even though the ones that aren't that successful, there's still passion there. And now if it's like you're being required to do this and you're not making the money that you're used to, it's like that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the thing too. And WWE's like very short-sighted in thinking like, oh, you know, we're going to make all this money off of Twitch because, you know, we're just going to put all our superstars out there and we're going to make them do 3-hour shows and ha ha ha. It's like, how about like, you know, how many fans were gained from them being on Twitch that are like, oh, you know what, I kind of gave up on wrestling, but this guy is pretty cool. I'm going to tune in on Friday to watch her. I'm going to tune in on Monday to watch her. That's what I'm saying.
So I think that really at the end of the day, it benefits.
It's free advertising for them. Exactly.
So it's I don't know. The whole thing's just kind of weird to me, like how they want to control it. And again, there's part of me that's like, I get it's an administration piece to it, but I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah,
let's talk about this Raw.
Yeah, let's talk about this Raw. But yeah, we started talking about the Thunderdome and Zelina Vega, and my God,
it's all right.
It's okay. We'll get through this. Anyway, yeah, this was a great show. It kicks off with Drew McIntyre coming to the ring. He's talking about Survivor Series this Sunday, and since its inception, it's been an American Thanksgiving tradition. Survivor Series used to take place on Thanksgiving.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who in their right mind?
Oh, wrestling fans Thanksgiving was the day, my dear. The day to go see wrestling.
Oh my gosh. Why?
Survivor Series is really like an answer to, like, you know, those like famous
turkey.
WCW shows like Starrcade. You know, a flair for the gold, you know, Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry, but then again, people watch football, so it doesn't really surprise me.
Undertaker debuted on, I think it was on Thanksgiving. I had to look up Survivor Series 1990.
What? You're joking.
I'm not joking. I'm dead serious.
Oh my gosh. I'm flabbergasted right now. Nobody else is flabbergasted? I guess not. Everybody's been a fan longer than me, so they're not really flabbergasted by this information.
It was Thanksgiving. So...
that's unbelievable. That Thanksgiving.
I just want to know what would be the reaction if I said, "Oh, hon, I got us tickets to Survivor Series and it's going to be on Thanksgiving."
I would be like, "You're going by yourself then."
Cool.
Thanksgiving's meant for family and turkey and food and being grateful and
Yeah.
Not wrestling.
Taker debuted on Thanksgiving. Yep. And Andrew Elder's also mentioning Thanksgiving Eve as well.
Okay, that makes
probably
sense.
Starrcade was probably on Thanksgiving.
That makes sense
Eve.
to me. Thanksgiving Eve, I can deal, but Thanksgiving itself, really? I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I am shocked.
Let's see. Yes, that was
why is it a thing?
Because
why am I late to the party on everything? By the way, no, again, because I'm I'm not gonna call myself a newer fan, but I am like more on the side of like I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Starrcade, Flair for the Gold was on Thanksgiving as well. But yeah, like you know, like the night before Thanksgiving is always like a big party night.
That makes sense to me.
But yeah, Survivor Series, like you were saying before about football, like they were like a sporting event. You got to bring them out there. I think there was like a scaffold match on like there's a couple famous things that happen on Thanksgivings. Anyway,
dear Lord.
And Andrew says the territories did shows on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Wow, you want to get away from people, I guess. Kit Dyson's in the chat room tonight. We say hello to Kit.
Hello.
Nafis is in the chat room.
Hey.
Nafis. My country doesn't do Thanksgiving, so I never noticed apart from the gobbledygooker. Kit Dyson says.
True.
And
when is oh my gosh.
What?
This is not. This made me think. When is Canada's Thanksgiving? Don't they have
October? I think it's like.
Did they have it already?
Yeah, it already happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me think of that. We're reading the two Thanksgivings tomorrow. I think the kid's from Canada. That's why. That's what made me think of it.
So we got Drew McIntyre out here. He's talking about the Thanksgiving tradition, and he talks about what he's thankful for. He's thankful for his family and friends he can lean on. He's thankful for his fans and the WWE ThunderDome for bringing them closer together. And he asks the ThunderDome if they're ready for him to Claymore kick Randy Orton's head off, and they cheer because it's fake. There's no cheering there.
There's no cheer.
All fake cheers. He also thanks the haters and the doubters because they can read between the lines, and he held up, 3 fingers like that. He calls out Roman Reigns, who doesn't care about anybody but himself. He's got his head so far up his ass on the pedestal that he's on that he's going to climb up. He's going to win the WWE title tonight, go to the Survivor Series, climb up, and Claymore kick him down to earth. He will humble Roman Reigns. And I was getting flashbacks to the Iron Sheik, and I was like, you know what? If Drew McIntyre is going to humble Roman Reigns like the Iron Sheik, I don't know if I'm going to order this on pay-per-view. It's going to get really weird really quick.
Really quickly.
Break your back. I'm not going to finish it. Everybody knows how it went. So we got Randy Orton appears on the big screen. He says that he heard McIntyre talk about what he's thankful for. He's thankful for being a 14-time world champion, but he's also thankful for the fine handed to him for putting his hands on Adam Pearce, and it didn't impact him. For 20 years, he has been getting fined. Orton has been fined and suspended more than any WWE superstar that has been contracted. Orton has been at home on his couch longer than 80% of the roster has been in the ring. Why is he still there with everything he's done? He's still there because he's the best, and on top because he's the greatest wrestler ever. He's going to prove it again, just like he did at Hell in a Cell. McIntyre says, well, I'm not going to be falling off the Hell in a Cell tonight. Tonight, I'll be the WWE champion. And he goes to leave. The Miz comes out. This is where the segment started to drag a little bit, but I was enjoying the segment. Miz talk, him and Morrison, I don't know. I find the act to be very, like there's good annoying, and then there's like go away heat, and I think if there was like a crowd there, this would be like, this is not the Miz's best work with John Morrison. I think that it's like, I don't like retro acts and trying to be something that you were 10 years ago rather than like updating what you were doing. It's like I feel like it's like they're 2 40-year-old guys trying to be 25 or 30 again. You can look at me all you want like that. You can look. I know I'm right. At least I feel like I'm right there. They kind of tease about. They tease Bray Wyatt for disappearing. Miz mentions that he could be the new champion tonight, and Drew McIntyre threatens him, and they walk off. What say you? I thought the thankful for my fans and all that side. I thought that was a little out of character for Drew McIntyre. I thought it was a little too heavy on the white meat babyface thing there, but whatever. It's Thanksgiving, it's coming up.
Oddly enough, I don't agree with you on the whole like. I don't agree. No, I don't. No, and I mean this.
Just imagine what you don't agree with me on.
I do agree with you on McIntyre. Like you said, when he was talking about being grateful and things like that, it really wasn't. But, you know, it is what it is. I think because of Thanksgiving, it's like whatever at this point. But at the same time, though, when it comes to Miz and Morrison, I don't disagree with you, but I also don't agree with you. Well, here's the thing. I find that with the Miz, I know you're saying it's not his best work when it comes to like working with Morrison, but at the same time, though, I feel like Miz always has a better showing than Morrison, and that may just be because of the fact that the highlight is on the Miz, not on Morrison so much. And it doesn't really benefit any. I mean, let's put it this way. Morrison needs the Miz more than Miz needs Morrison at this point. You know, he doesn't really have to have Morrison as like a tag team partner to be doing his shtick and everything. But I think it has a nice little element to having the little like retro act. I don't know. I don't mind it so much. And yeah, maybe because I'm a Miz fan, it doesn't bother me.
You are a misfit.
I am a misfit, but I don't think it's as like hokey as you're making it out to be, or as like I don't know, as bad as
when he was doing the correct thing. I was like, oh my god, this is like it's just
maybe you just changed. Maybe you just don't appreciate that act anymore.
Well,
but I think everybody else appreciates the nostalgia of it.
No, I don't know. There's like good nostalgia, and there's like, you know, it's like it's the same exact way that I felt about when Triple H and Shawn Michaels reformed DX. You know, and they were trying to do the stuff that they did 10 years before that, when Shawn Michaels was still on drugs and popping pills, and Triple H was was skinny before he started taking the steroids.
That's
you know, it's
different.
like, but when they did it like 10 years later, like, you know, Shawn's a born again Christian, not on the drugs anymore. He's in, you know, the second half of a Hall of Fame career, just in his second half of his career, and Triple H was, you know, a pumped up, steroided up, you know, father. It's like. And they're like, you know, like holding up, you know, hot dog wieners and stuff. It's like, God, this is like so campy and stupid.
But you know what?
I hated I hated every second of DX.
Yeah, but you know
except
what?
Except when they super kicked that random guy backstage. Okay. And he goes, "What's his name? Steve? I just super kicked Steve."
But like, here's the thing though, with Morrison and Miz though, it's like they're not nearly as.
Yes, they're not doing that.
No, they're not doing that. So like. So what if they're doing like vintage stuff? Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just saying, personally, I'm like, I'm not a big fan.
Well, personally, you're stupid, okay?
Okay. So. How about that? Well, personally, I thought this opening match was stupid. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Lana versus Asuka, Mandy
This we
Rose,
can
and
agree
Dana
on.
Brooke. This sucked to high hell. Like, so... You know, as good as the two matches, there was two matches that were great on the show. Obviously, the one ends with Drew McIntyre winning the WWE title. Like, the build for Survivor Series otherwise was just dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
I don't get this whole thing. I really don't. Who mentioned before that they're like, I don't get, like, what's the purpose? I agree with you. What are the
stakes on the line here?
There's
like,
nothing on the line.
I don't know what the stakes are.
There's nothing on the line.
And it's like, you know, they couldn't think of anything original for like the men's and women's Survivor Series teams. It's like, you know, the storyline for the men are that they don't get along. The storyline for the women are they don't get along. So essentially you're getting 2, 3, 4 segments per show of the same shit with different people.
But realistically, though, it's like
boring.
Why don't you get along? Like, who cares?
And why? Like, why are you even on a team together to begin with? Like, why would anybody even want to qualify for a team with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler who are just destroying everybody? Like, why would you want to be on their team? And for what purpose? Like to face Team SmackDown? Oh, of Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair? It's like, oh, wow, we're fighting for brand supremacy here. Half these people were on Raw last month.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense.
But it really doesn't make any sense. It's like, you know, you couldn't have like just like even attempt a separate storyline for the men's and women's teams. It had to be the same thing, that they don't get along. It had to be.
It had to be. Well, let's put it this way. They can't do anything with the women to begin with. So they're like, let's just do the same thing as what the guys are doing, because they can't even build the women on a regular without any type of like, Survivor Series type thing.
Yeah.
The women's division is just beyond disappointing to me. It really hurts my heart. It does.
It does. It's a sad fall from where they've been. You know, like I hope Charlotte Flair heals up and gets back very soon, because it's you know, they really need her. They need her in a big way on this show.
It's anybody who's,
but
like,
even when she comes back, who's she gonna face?
That's what I was about to say. At the end of the day, it's gonna become what, Asuka? How many times have we seen that already?
A million. It's been many
done.
times.
It's been done way too many times. They don't know how to build to begin with, but especially now with the women, they really don't know how to build these women up.
Ashley mentions one person on Reddit coined Nia Jax as Denia Vax after she posted that on her Instagram today, that she trusts her immune system more than any vaccine for COVID-19.
Okay, good for her. I mean, that's her opinion. So
it's like, wow, you should probably take that down. I'm telling you right now, I'm not taking any vaccine. I'm taking no vaccines that come out, you know, that are rushed out for political purposes. I am absolutely not doing that, because I don't want, like, you know, 5 years from now they're like, oh, by the way, anybody who took that first batch of vaccine, your toes are most likely going to fall off.
You will grow a second arm.
Right. You're going to grow, you know, you're going to have a third nostril. It's like, oh, great.
Oh, is that it?
Perfect. Good Lord.
Oh my gosh.
Well, at least she believes in COVID. You know, there's a lot of people that don't. Anyway, so this match sucked. Lana tagged herself in and took the loss, and she went through the table for the 9th time. It's like, you know, like at this point, she's gone through the damn table 9 times. She's, you know, just gotten destroyed and humiliated the entire way since, you know, Rusev started doing things, you know, in AEW. And it is what it is. I'm not saying they're punishing her, but if this doesn't end with Lana being the one who wins it for Team Raw on Sunday,
then there's no point.
Then this entire exercise was just a really long, drawn-out burial of Lana.
Yeah.
But not that there was much to bury there to begin with, but, you know,
no,
agreed. She was ice cold, you know, even before Rusev left. But, you know, that marriage to Bobby Lashley angle murdered her dead and hurt Lashley for a good while too. But yeah, there has to be some payoff, and it really should be.
Lana wins it for.
It really should Raw. Be that Lana, you know, shows up everybody on Team Raw and gets the final victory.
Yeah, agreed.
She'll probably wind up pinning Ruby Riott and then immediately get eliminated. That's probably what's gonna happen. Anyway, so Asuka wastes her time in that match. We got. This was actually pretty funny. Team Raw backstage, the men's Team Raw. AJ Styles is suggesting they all face Retribution as a tune-up since they all don't like them.
So funny.
This was pretty funny.
This was pretty funny.
Yeah, he looks at his associate, which I forget what they're calling him now.
Wait,
Well, I know his real name is like Jordan Omagbahin.
But Omos, I think.
Yeah, Olmus.
Olmus. I think it was like that was the whole, like, part of the whole shtick too. They were like,
or are they calling Olmec? Isn't that the name of the host of like Legends of the Hidden Temple?
I thought that I could have sworn I heard Omos. Like, I think that was part of the argument though.
Yeah. Oh no, Almost.
Yeah,
because I remember now because I was thinking of Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
Although Olmec, I think you got to hand it to me. That was an excellent callback to a really great Nickelodeon game show.
Nice job.
So.
I thought this was so funny with AJ Styles.
But it was funny. He goes, my associate doesn't even speak English. He goes, yes, I do. He goes, what? You speak English? I have so many questions for you. It's like, it was so stupid.
I love when AJ Styles goes.
But this guy was the security guard for Raw Underground. We've literally heard him talk to Shane McMahon before. We know he talks English. Man, Raw Underground, not even a...
I love it. No.
I called it, though. I mean, I said that wouldn't last that long.
Yeah, you did. And other people were like, Mike, you're wrong.
Mike, it's going to be the best thing. It's good. That's the only thing that's helping the third.
It's going to be groundbreaking.
It's the only thing that's helping the third hour Raw.
Raw Underground is groundbreaking. Get it? Haha.
When I used to do written reviews of Monday Night Raw, like 2015, 2016. Just
yes.
Go read some of the stuff that I wrote. I'm undefeated in my wrestling analysis. You can't come at me.
All right. All right.
I can't be got.
Relax.
You come at me, you're gonna get got.
Relax.
You're gonna get got.
Will you calm down?
I do the getting. I don't do the got.
Are you for real? Seriously.
I'm just saying.
Just slow your roll.
I don't do gotten.
Will you seriously calm down?
I'm calm. I'm just saying. It's hard to get got here with me.
So annoying.
Anyway, we got the Firefly Fun House here. They talk about the Miz, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa. They talk about getting by with a little help from their friends. Wyatt does some karate, does a spelling bee.
love when people are friends in real life and they have to talk about people. Because like I said, Alexa Bliss is very friendly with the Miz.
Yeah.
This is always so funny when they kind of...
She's great. I got to tell you, she's great in these segments.
She's so funny. She's so good. Because she really
Because she's got that like evil cheerleader thing down.
Yes, she does. It's kind of scary how well that like her and Bray Wyatt have this like whole, creepy, scary vibe. But
she gets like this character here. And I think what they're doing is just excellent work. I thought The Fiend got pretty boring and was kind of just there.
Yeah,
After the Goldberg loss in Saudi Arabia in February. I was like, well, The Fiend is just like that really hurt him for quite some time.
Yeah.
And like he did the Firefly Fun House thing at WrestleMania with John Cena, but he gained no traction. He was just a total nothing burger on SmackDown. The Braun Strowman rivalry was a complete unmitigated disaster.
Please.
And when they started doing this thing with Alexa Bliss, it really rehabbed him. And it made The Fiend super interesting.
It did.
Unfortunately, once The Fiend gets in the ring, all that goes away.
It does. The character itself and the whole Firefly Fun House is amazing. It really is when it comes to the wrestling, though. It's like, like that. It really doesn't do much. Doesn't add anything. And I don't know what to do to fix it necessarily, because it's not like Bray Wyatt's obviously a bad wrestler by any means. I think he's a great wrestler, but his matches don't tend to live up to the whole hype of The Fiend and Bray Wyatt even himself. So it's like they got to work on that. And you can't, if you're obviously he has to have matches, but if he's going to have match, and this is what I think they should do, right? If he's going to have match, The Fiend should just be, and Bray Wyatt too should just be like unstoppable, and it should be like 2 seconds. I don't think he should have any type of
there shouldn't
match
be...
that drags out at all.
Right.
Don't let it go. Maybe don't let it go more than at most 5 minutes. Even that's too much.
I think The Miz and Bray Wyatt did go 5 minutes tonight, and God, that dragged so badly. So badly. Ashley says, to be fair, Raw Underground only got canceled because of the multiple Performance Center outbreaks. We don't talk about that. Because they didn't talk about that either. But it kind of got canceled, though, because it stunk as well. And my God, remember Dabba-Kato got drafted to Raw? Like, where's he been?
I don't know.
Babatunde.
COVID?
Babatunde. Andrew Elder says, I am a thorn. I don't know what like, I've been seeing like what does that mean? Is that like a new thing that I'm like totally missing?
I don't know. I'm not with it anymore.
I'm not with it.
You know more than I do now.
I know.
It's really, no, it's scary. Like when you're like, oh, have you heard of this? I'm like, no. And you're like, oh, my students talk about it. I'm like, what? I'm out of the loop?
So sad.
I'm getting old, everybody.
Anyway, so up next we have the Hurt Business versus the New Day. And wow, this was a real banger of a match. This was a banger.
So good.
This was excellent.
So good.
It was so much fun to recap, fun to watch. The pre-match promo was quite bad, but the action here was so solid. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Shelton Benjamin is ageless, timeless. Just can't, ain't no stopping me now. Shelton Benjamin pulled out an angle slam tonight to pay homage to the world's greatest tag team, Team Angle. Pretty cool. New Day, they're
on fire.
That's honestly, like,
I never want to see them break up. I really don't.
Will. I don't think they should. I think that was the perfect way to do it with Big E and them. Just kind of like split them in the draft, but they're still friends.
Yes, and I like that. There's no breakup. It literally is just like they did that for, to add some sort of dimension to their tag team, right?
Yeah.
But they're still together, and I like the idea of them staying together. There's some tag teams you're like, okay, you want them to break up, you don't want them to be stuck in this, one-dimensional type of form of themselves. But they just click so well. It would be devastating. I think they work so much together as a unit than they would separately.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that they're not good, obviously, but they work even better all together.
Yeah.
They just have I don't know. Like the fact that they are all friends, I think,
is
really
not
key.
Good.
Really, really key. I think it's key that they all obviously genuinely get along with each other.
Yeah.
But the chemistry is just remarkable.
It is. And I think we've watched the New Day long enough. They formed in 2014, really, started having matches in 2015. The New Day Sucks thing started in Philadelphia. I'm proud to say that I'm one of the people that helped.
No, you started it. I'm sorry. Everyone can sit there.
Nobody would believe you if you say that.
No, but everyone can.
I started the. Remember that pathetic. You still got it. I was like, watch, I can get everybody to chant "You still got it" at Billy Gunn, and I did it.
Yeah, you did it.
I did it, and I got them to chant "New Day Sucks."
No, but Mike started "New Day Sucks." You did. It's official. Anyone can fight. They can come at me all they want. Mike Tedesco started that.
Yeah,
I was there.
New Day should be sharing royalties with me. I swear to God. Anyway, what was I gonna say here? Oh yeah. So anyway, we've seen them since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
There's a solid, 6 years in here now of consistent good work.
So amazing.
No, better than good. Great work. Tag team Hell in a Cells. Longest reigning, in a single reign tag champions.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it took Kofi Kingston to the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
And they stayed together, and they're still putting on great matches, and they're still interesting, and they're still a lot of fun.
Where would Xavier Woods be, right? Think about where did Xavier Woods be without
Where would Kofi Kingston be? He would still be just, like a guy in the roster that never broke through.
Or even Big E, for that matter.
Big E would just be a guy in the roster that doesn't break through, I think. But together, they're like an unstoppable force of just charisma and great wrestling. I think it's time to crown the New Day as probably... I'm really racking my brain right now to try to think of a team that's better. And better, in terms of longevity like this.
Yeah.
You got the Road Warriors, but the Road Warriors never had the type of matches that the New Day could have. Hawk had all the charisma. Animal was, the muscle guy. I think the New Day are the greatest tag team of all time.
I don't know every tag team. Obviously, been watching wrestling a lot longer than I have, but from what I have been watching wrestling for, I could say that definitely.
Yeah.
100%. They're so good.
Daniel Shells says that they're the greatest tag team of our generation. Okay, that's
I think is
a very fair statement.
That's a very fair statement. I would say this though, to kind of agree with you, maybe the top 3 tag teams of all time.
I would say so. I'm a huge Demolition fan. I don't care what anybody says. I love Demolition. I don't care if they're Road Warrior ripoffs or whatever. Brian Farmer says he doesn't agree. He thinks they're top 10. I strongly disagree with that. I have to say higher up on the list.
I think they should definitely be in the top 3.
Det Morales says Rock and Roll Express. Yeah. Andrew Elder says even the Steiners weren't that close. It's true. The Steiners were a great tag team. They were great. But in terms of longevity and doing it consistently for as long as they have, in this environment too, where Vince McMahon is so quick to just kill any act that doesn't seem to be gaining any traction, they're all time great. Heart Foundation, they were awesome. Mm-hmm. I would say they did it solid for 5 years.
Yeah.
But they eventually go their separate ways. I don't ever see this tag team breaking up.
They shouldn't.
The Rockers, again, they did it for a time. Harlem Heat, they don't have Harlem Heat. It was like Booker T. It was like the vehicle for him.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
There's no vehicle for any of these guys.
I find Kofi, there's a big balance between all three of them.
Yeah, Kofi won the WWE title, but they all won the WWE title.
They all won the WWE title. And what I find interesting, again, usually it's funny, too, because, like, the fact that there's three of them, you would think, like, oh, there should be, like, one person out because, like, who's whatever. But they bring something to the table.
Yeah.
And really, it benefited all of them where, like, again, like Big E's now doing his own thing on SmackDown right now. But it's still, you're not forgetting about, obviously, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, but you're not forgetting about Big E either.
No.
Like, there's definite tag teams. Usually it's like one person's coming out of this stronger than the other.
Yeah.
That's not happening here. Yeah. Like, even somebody who's like, oh, the Shield, probably. But look what does that really do for Dean Ambrose at the end of the day?
Nothing,
like Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns was their guy. Seth Rollins wound up being,
but that's different. That's a stable. The Shield was like a stable, which is to me a little different than like, I mean, I guess you could say the New Day's a stable too, but like, they're more,
I wouldn't call them
but like a stable has like a leader, right? Seth Rollins was like the leader of.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Triple H was the leader of Evolution. Ric Flair was the leader of the Four Horsemen.
Okay. So you're not considering... Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're not considering the Shield as this necessarily a tag team. It was more stable. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, Brian, I'm talking about their longevity in this day and age where Vince McMahon is extremely quick to just
pull the plug,
to break up tag teams just to get... I mean, look what they did with Sasha Banks and Bayley. All that build for years of teasing them breaking apart. And then they finally break apart. They have one match in Hell in a Cell, one match in SmackDown. It's over.
It's over.
And it's like, really? You blew your load all right there? To survive in this environment today is way different than, okay, well, we played ourselves out of this territory. Now we're going to go to a different place and do the exact and do some of the same shit that we were doing in the last territory. You can get longevity from that, but just longevity in a single place, especially in this environment with crazy old Vince McMahon, who's not the Vince McMahon from 20 years ago. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty impressive. But I would have to say like my top 3 of all time, like I like it's a great question, who's the best tag team of all time. New Day is definitely the best of this generation. I do think that they're top 3. My number 1, I just love Demolition. I just do. Road Warriors would be number 2 for me. The New Day number 3. Heart Foundation, British Bulldogs. But again, like there was a decided star in each of those. They all share the stardom here pretty equally.
They do.
That's what's impressive about the New Day. That's why I like them so much.
Exactly. Me too. That's why I enjoy them.
Anyway, get back to this. This was just a great match, and if you were, I mean, you kind of have to watch this Raw now because of the finish of the show. But if you were on the fence, and I said this beforehand, if you were on the fence about the show, this match was absolutely worth a look. Here's another big surprise that happened tonight. Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, Sheamus, and Matt Riddle take on Retribution, and Retribution wins.
I love how you put in the Wrestleview tweet, you're like, I would have had a graphic, but they're not on the roster page, the main roster page.
Uh-oh. Do I hear rustling?
Yeah, just give it a sec. Everyone be quiet.
Everybody be quiet. Liliana's waking up. Well, okay. Anyway, get back to this. So, Brian, so Brian's saying we keep calling the New Day a tag team, but they're more of a stable. There's no leader here. There's no leader of this stable. They all share equally. There's no leader of the New Day, so they are a tag team with just 3 people, just like the Freebirds. But I always thought like Michael P.S. Hayes was really the leader of the Freebirds, and they were more of a stable than anything. Oh, Liliana's up, so I'm gonna probably wind up finishing the show by myself here.
Sorry.
Golly. Maybe say goodnight to Victoria. I don't know yet, but
maybe
we're getting ready to wrap up pretty soon anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm just getting back to the show now. Retribution gets the victory. They're not. Wow, thanks for that. They're not even on the WWE's roster page, so I couldn't even make like a graphic for them. There's like nothing to do, So it's like, man, they have done such an awful job with that tag team, and even in victory, it was like a really just crummy, like, okay, we just eked out a victory there, and as it should be. I mean, they're facing Team Raw, and the only reason they won was because Team Raw was just arguing with each other. But man alive, it's like, I guess it's good for them to get a win, but it was like they were like an afterthought in this match. Like Team Raw ran wild over them the entire, like T-Bar was just, he ran in. He was the second person tag in, and Matt Riddle was just kicking him in the head and doing all, just not selling anything for him. Keith Lee comes in and just manhandles both T-Bar and Mace and tossing them over the top rope like they're garbage. It's like they're taking their 2 biggest guys, Dominic Dijakovic and Dio Madden, and just they're just getting thrown around the ring. It's like that's crazy to me. And Mustafa Ali, gets the victory there. Tiny little Mustafa Ali. Whatever. I still think the Retribution angle is hideous. I think the entrance is, oh God, like if you're epileptic or you have some type of, motion sickness disorder, watching that Retribution entrance, it's miserable. It's really miserable. God, like the production sucks on their entrance. It's just like all wobbly cameras. It's like, stop it. Jeez. Quentin Walters, thanks for getting me to do this. Yes. Please like and subscribe to our channel. If you're here for the first time enjoying this show, please subscribe to the channel. If you're here in the chat room, like the video, please. Let's see. Brian Farmer says, that defines the best tag team of this generation. Their era hurts their rankings. There's quite literally one other good tag team right now, and half of them are on the shelf until January. Oh. It is all subjective. Wrestling opinions are all subjective. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just, because it's not a sport, so there's nothing really. I mean, there are ways of analyzing it. You can analyze, how much money they've raked in and stuff like that. The New Day is a merchandise powerhouse, so in that sense, they are unequivocally the greatest and most profitable tag team of all time. If you measure it in that sense, but there's, it's subjective at the end of the day. If you want to bring out raw data, you can say that. So, I really thought we were done with Jeff Hardy and Elias, and apparently we're going to be getting a little more of that. Like, Elias was putting fake posters backstage, and Jeff Hardy walks up to him and says he's innocent, but if Elias keeps accusing him of things he didn't do, he'll be guilty of way worse than hitting him with a car. It's like, yes, there are way worse things than being hit by a car, and one of them is watching Jeff Hardy and Elias wrestle. Like it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Miz takes on Bray Wyatt, and this match just went on forever. It's like I don't like. I love the Fiend character. I love the Bray Wyatt character. I love the Firefly Fun House segments. I really think that they are just, next level good. But once they get in the ring and it's like the no selling and all that stuff, it's like, man, it just goes on for way too long. Victoria was so right when she said it should just be over pretty damn quick. I did like the finish where Miz hits the clothesline and Wyatt no sells it and pulls him out for the Sister Abigail. But again, way too long there. They did a really good video package for Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. And then we get the match. It literally starts at 10:30. But before that, during that tag team match with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, they broke Mandy Rose's arm. Mia Yim, Retaliation or whatever her stupid name is in Retribution. She attacked Dana Brooke. They're both taken out. So replacing Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. And Nia Jax says this is the worst idea since Quibi, which was a streaming service that WWE had a show on that flamed out epically after a very short run. I'm almost thinking WWE had a little stock in there because they seem pretty angry about it to have to bring up, a terrible idea like Quibi. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, this match built like a really great old school match. It was just great all around. I loved at the beginning of the match, they did a little offense, a couple, McIntyre hits a couple Glasgow kisses to Orton. He tries to run off with the WWE title. And Adam Pearce walks out and says the match will have no countouts or disqualifications. It can only end by pinfall or submission. That is official. So, for whatever reason, the Office is screwing Orton right now. The Office is screwing Orton. And they went on to have just a great match. They used some weapons. There's a lot of back suplexes on tables and barricades. And at the end of it, Drew McIntyre was standing as the new WWE champion. Again, a really great surprise. We talked about it earlier in the show. But the one thing that we didn't touch on, I don't want to speculate. Certainly not. And this is just all just talk. But Randy Orton talking about being the most fined and suspended superstar on the roster, losing the WWE Championship, the week before, 6 days before Survivor Series, clean as a whistle, no interference, no Fiend, no Miz, nothing. Kind of makes you think that we might see an announcement tomorrow. I don't know for what, but it really felt like there, like he was foreshadowing another suspension coming up, which that would suck because Orton's on just one hell of a run right now. Again, that's just all speculation, but it was definitely shocking to see Drew McIntyre win the title tonight. And I don't know if everybody noticed this, but when Drew McIntyre hit him with the Claymore kick and he was covering him, Orton took his hand and slapped him on the under of his thigh just to say like, hey, it's your turn again, kid. Like they're like every now and then if you watch like a title change, from an established veteran to somebody, to a top face, you'll see them whisper something to them, like the Rock was big on doing that. Like when he would like win the title, he would like, whisper or something like that, thank you or whatever. Randy Orton slapping Drew McIntyre on the inner thigh is his way of saying like, hey, now it's yours again. You're the champion. Carry it forward. It really neat little interesting moment there that I don't know if everybody noticed, but if you go back and watch it, it was definitely there. I hope everything's fine with Orton. I really do. We shall see what happens. But like the big, I guess the question is, if this was the plan, if Randy Orton is fine and there's no suspensions or fines or whatever that they seem to be foreshadowing, the question is like, why did they have Drew lose the title to begin with then at Hell in a Cell? He lost it for less than a month, or maybe a full month. I forget when. No. Hell in a Cell was actually October 25th or something like that. So end of October. So it wasn't even a month that Orton had it. Why take the title off him to begin with? If you were gonna give the title to Randy Orton only to drop it back to Drew McIntyre, like why wouldn't you do it at SummerSlam? Randy Orton had a ton of momentum going into SummerSlam, coming off the match with Edge, and he was just running wild all summer, kicking legends in the head and this and that. Ric Flair, that great angle with Ric Flair crying and, saying you're the best man, and then he gets kicked in the head, kicking Christian in the head, Big Show. Like there was a ton of great Randy Orton moments over the summer. So why didn't you have him beat him at SummerSlam? instead of Hell in a Cell and let Orton have a little bit of a longer reign, have Drew McIntyre chase the title for a little bit, make you want to see Drew McIntyre as champion again. Not that I don't want to see Drew McIntyre as champion right now, but it just doesn't make much sense, to do it right now. That's another reason why I'm thinking in my head, like, there's something more to this than meets the eye. But I hope I'm wrong about that. I sincerely do. So we'll see what happens in the coming days. I'm sure news, if there's something, afoot, that news will leak out. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a search right now, but nothing yet. So we'll see. Hopefully not. Anyway, what do you think of the show? Chat room, everybody in the chat, what do you think of the show? Do you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Obviously, big title change. Just an excellent tag team match for the Raw tag team titles. I give the show a solid, easy thumbs up. I think that WWE Championship match is probably one of the best matches on Raw in recent years. It'll be one of the top 5, Raw matches of like the last 5 years or so. There have been great Raw matches. There's no question about it. Even the New Day match was excellent tonight. But the surprise, the emotion, the drama. This was an incredible Raw match. Absolutely incredible. Daniel Shell gives it a COVID-19 positive thumbs up. Daniel Shell, I hope you're not. Are you positive for the virus? I hope you're not. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Andrew Elder gives Raw a thumbs up, and he gives this show a thumbs up. Thank you very much. If Edge Wrestling was not cut off short, it would be Edge versus Randy Orton matches. Jorge Oliva gives it a thumbs up. Solid championship matches. Absolutely. All thumbs up for Machine Walls. That is perfect. Billy Hefner, Uncle Billy, gives it a thumbs up as well. I'm going to check out on Twitter to see what everybody's doing. Okay, good. Daniel Shell is fine. We can confirm that. He's just giving it a positive thumbs up. There you go. This show, wow, I'm actually surprised that it's not even higher. So they give it, the people, which you can't see right now. I'm going to switch. Excuse me. That's 83% thumbs up from the people on Twitter. They give it 83%. I don't know how you put the thumbs down on that, unless you're a big Randy Orton fan, I guess. But again, subjective stuff. Daniel Schultz said it's a funny haha. And Andrew Elder goes, God damn it, Daniel. There you go. This show's an easy thumbs up. A really easy watch. And Jorge Oliva gives a thumbs up for Quentin kicking out of all the illnesses. Yes, absolutely. Quentin, we love Quentin. Post-Raw show, 5 stars from Quentin Walters. That's all. That's what matters to me. All right, everybody. We have Survivor Series coming up this Sunday. Me and Doug will be doing a post-show after the show comes to an end. I cannot recap during Survivor Series. I'm going to be recapping during Survivor Series, but I can't do a live watch along this time around. So we're going to be doing a post show after it's all said and done, a traditional Wrestleview live. It'll be good shit. And then we'll be back for Post Raw next week. So make sure you check it out. In the meantime, I am Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com. Victoria is my dear wife and my co-host. Let's see how much longer she'll let me grow this thing out here. I think I'm doing pretty good here. But I know she's getting a little fed up with it. So I don't know. Maybe I might have it trimmed down a little bit next time you see me. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll try to hold out a little bit. But on that note, I am Mike Tedesco. Be well. I will see you on Sunday for Survivor Series and The Undertaker's farewell. It's going to be great. Take care. Have a great week.